Wednesday Wanderers, I'm Ranger Erin, and we're going to be talking today about whitetail deer. And this is a great week to start talking about them because next week and the week after, so the last week of October and the first week of November is going to be the deer rut. So our deer are going to be on the move. This is the easiest time of year to see a deer, and unfortunately it's also the time of year where we see them crossing roads a lot and they get hit by cars a lot. So anytime you're out with your family driving, you can always remind whoever's driving to just drive a little bit slower, keep an extra eye out because our deer are not being careful, so we have to be a little bit more careful for them. So our white-tailed deer are a very large herbivore, which means that they've got really big, grindy teeth for eating lots and lots of vegetation out in our forests. And they really do well in all types of habitats. So they like a little bit of forest, but they're also really great with prairies. And so long as there's a little bit of cover, they're gonna do well in and around cities, suburbs, and agricultural areas. So they are a very adaptable animal, and they are one of our most common animals out here. These deer live all across North America and also Central America and a little bit of South America. And we call them white-tailed deer, and they are named that because, of course, of their white tails. So they have a beautiful coat color, really thick, coarse fur that's gonna protect them walking through tall grass. And you can see how well this is gonna blend in out here, how good that camouflage is gonna be. But then they have that one spot of white, which is that white tail. And you might think, why would they have something that's so obvious? That white really stands out here in the forest. They use it for signaling because they're gonna live in small family groups through most of the year. So they're gonna be able to signal to each other when they're just browsing along and they see somebody coming, they see a predator, or they smell something that's just not right. They're gonna stick their tail up, and the other ones are gonna notice that, and they're gonna be on alert. And then they're gonna drop their tail when they start to run so that they kind of disappear into the forest. One thing that a lot of people notice about our deer is their great antlers. So our white-tailed deer, the males, are gonna grow antlers every single year of their life. They're gonna grow a new set of antlers. And these antlers they're gonna use, especially during this time, we call this the deer rut. This is when these animals are looking for mates. And these males are gonna use these antlers in order to challenge each other for mating rights, and they're gonna use them to kind of establish their territory. So they're gonna be using them to tussle with some other deer. When these antlers start to grow out, they're covered by a very soft velvet. So if you've ever touched the staghorn sumac, it feels just like that, very velvety. And then this time of year, leading up to the rut, they're gonna be finding small trees and they're gonna be rubbing their antlers on there. That's gonna shed all of that velvet off. But more importantly, what they're gonna do is they're gonna kind of peel away the bark, which is gonna leave a big kind of white signpost out here. And then they're gonna mark it with their scent. And all of the other deers are gonna be able to see that, and they're gonna notice that big ground off, that deer rub. They're gonna notice it, they're gonna come over and smell it and be like, okay, all right, that's where they kind of get to know each other out here before they start to chase each other during the deer rut. So you'll see all kinds of signs of deer rubbings on trees during this time of year. And you're also gonna notice deer scrapes. So that's when they're gonna take those hooves and they're gonna dig in deep into the dirt. And again, they're gonna mark it with their scent. And again, some other deer is gonna be able to kind of get to know them before that deer rut. At the end of this season, in around January, all of those males, they're gonna drop off their antlers. So what's happening is every single year they grow that new set. So really all year long, they're growing new antlers. So once these are finished, they're gonna drop off in January, February. You can walk through the forest and try and find one. They're gonna drop off, and almost immediately they're gonna start to grow a new one. So all year round, they're growing antlers. On your deer hike, you're going to be looking for signs of some deers. So you could look definitely this time of year for some of those deer rubs on some trees. You can look for scrapes on the ground. They've got two toes, so you can look for their tracks, which are going to be all around us. You can look for maybe some fur that they've scraped away. You can look for some chew marks on the ground. One thing that you can look for on your hike is deer browse. So these large herbivores are browsers as opposed to grazers, and one easy way you can think of that is that a grazer, GR, eats the plant down to the ground, GR. But that browser is just gonna hit the ends and kind of the brown stuff. So they're gonna hit the ends of stuff, they're gonna get leaves, they're gonna get green stems, they're gonna get some bark. And this is a nice example of some shredded ends because they don't have a neat bite. They're gonna kind of shred the ends of things that they eat. So this is a little bit of deer browse. On this copse of sumac, we've got a few deer rubs that are in here. So these came from last year, but you can see how all of the bark has been rubbed away, leaving kind of that bright white signpost that that deer can then mark and let everybody know, right here, there's a buck and this is his territory. In Louisville, anytime you see a two-toed track, you know that you're looking at that whitetail deer. So here's that. 1, 2 toes, and then there's a step that kind of stepped right on top of it. So it is 1, 2 toes. Well, thanks for joining me. I will see you all next time.